Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids. Independent. Existentialism. Modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen X Existentialists.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Gen X Existentialist podcast. My name is Bunny.
And I'm Scott.
And it's opposite day here at the Gen X podcast where
What?
I'm flipping the script and I'm spinning the wheel for a change, and Scott is going to be the first to answer. So
I am as trepidatious as I could possibly be.
Welcome to my side. We're spinning the wheel. Maybe.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, it's not spinning. There we go.
Oh,
Wow, listen to that. The wheels need some oil. All right. First question. Do you enjoy being alone? How do you spend your alone time?
Yes, masturbating. Next question.
Oh, wow, that was fast.
No, I do enjoy being alone. I love reading. I love writing. Playing music. Sometimes just sitting in front of the TV and strumming a guitar and seeing what happens. Alone time's never been a problem for me. Being an only child, it's like, yeah, that I kind of grew up with that a little bit. I mean, it's not like my parents weren't around. At least one of them was always around, but you know, you kind of learn to get by and be creative and have fun on your own. So yeah, I dig it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind my alone time. I have alone time quite a bit because my wife still goes into work at the office a couple days a week. So. And before the pandemic, she went in 5 days a week. So I spent 5 days a week alone because I work from home. So.
Just you and Decca?
Yeah, well, just me mainly because now we have a separate office. So
oh, yeah, that's right.
I can just get away from everybody over there. So most of the time I listen to podcasts. I work, of course. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it. I don't do a lot alone. I don't, I sing bad songs to myself.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
You've taken to gardening a little bit since you moved to the new place. Yeah,
I kind of got into gardening after my mother's passing. I really kind of embraced at least indoor gardening because I got a plant from her, and I kind of felt like, I have to keep this alive. It was this thing of like it's my duty, and so I'm kind of learning to enjoy the quiet of being around plants.
Cool.
I prefer them to pets, to be honest. Just there's a certain zen about, and you start to speak plant after a while.
How do you speak plants?
Well, you talk to your plants, number one, but you can anticipate their needs just by looking at them, just by being around them. You kind of know what they need. You need a little more sun. You want something that's to drink. You want to move around. You want to be next to your friends. You want to be by yourself.
Really?
We can move you around. That's the way I work. I don't know.
And see, what you just said there, like the last minute and a half of our conversation, makes me think maybe you need to be around more people.
Nah. Let's go ahead and spin one more time. Why not?
Spinning the wheel.
My wheel needs a little oil.
Yeah, it's weird how different it sounds.
It's sounding really bad. So, here we go. Do you ever make excuses for your bad behavior? E.g., I punched him because he was a jerk.
We've had that question before.
Have we had that before?
Yeah, that was like on episode 4 or 5. That was early on that we had that
don't anymore.
One.
Do you make excuses? Yeah, I just removed
it. Do I make excuses? Nah, if I'm a jackass, I'll own up to it.
All right. Same here. All right.
Uh-oh.
This is a big one.
I like that one shout in the applause. That woo! Like somebody really loves this.
Would you rather wear really ugly glasses that are the right prescription or ones that look really great but are slightly blurry?
I gotta have the right prescription. I don't care what they look like. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with my current glasses because they're blue and they're kind of funky, and I kind of dig them. But I've had some really bad looking glasses that eventually you just kind of go, fuck it, I don't care, I can see that they're a tool.
Yeah.
It's as much as it's like a look, or it's part of your personality. At the end of the day, they're a tool. They help you see or they don't.
Yeah, I would totally have an eye transplant if I could.
Same.
I hate wearing glasses, but I've been wearing them since I was about 14 or 15. Yeah, I mean, right now I have a terrible prescription because they gave me bifocals, and
Yay.
the bifocals make me sick as a dog, so I don't
Really?
wear them. I've been wearing an old prescription. Yeah, I get super sick because I have labyrinthitis. There's something you may not have known.
What is that?
Labyrinthitis is where you have damaged the cochlea of your ear so much that you constantly have a slight case of vertigo all the time.
Wow.
So I am forever looking out of my peripheral vision. Like I can always see what's going on way out here constantly. Because if I don't, I fall over. I feel like I can't spatially keep my balance unless I'm constantly scanning all around me. When you get bifocals, it cuts off your peripheral vision to an extent.
Yeah.
And when I glance down to make sure my footing is fine,
You lose
it's
your balance.
blurry. Yeah, because I don't see my feet properly, and I
Right.
lose my balance, so I start to fall.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine driving in them. That would be a tragedy for everyone on the road.
Yeah. See, my optometrist, not my ophthalmologist, my optometrist told me, when you're 40, you're going to need bifocals. I was like, no, I won't. Yeah, you will. By God, my appointment that year, he's like, you really need bifocals. I'm like, no. Meh. So I put it off for a few years. When I finally got them, the transition was hard. But once I got used to look straight, turn your head to look, don't just look down. And I'll still find myself in the car just kind of like glancing down to see the speedometer. And it's blurry. And it's like, oh, okay, I have to move my head. Where it really bugs me is playing bass, because my tuner is in a pedal on the floor. And if I just like glance down, everything's blurry. I have to like almost put my chin to my chest to see the tuner.
All right.
and make sure I'm actually getting in tune. But other than that, it hasn't been a problem. But that condition that you're talking about sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's gotten worse than I've gotten older. That happened from a car accident.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
I had a total hemisphere concussion on my left
Yeah.
side of my brain, basically my head. So it was pretty effed up for a long time. And now it was fine, for a while. But now that I'm getting into bifocal territory,
Right.
and I'm getting older, I'm getting more unsteady. I just know I'm going to fall and break a hip one of these days. Hey, future Bunny, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry for your broken hip.
Well, and I'm just going through things in my head now. Like if we put blinders on you and sent you out to walk in the yard, would you just like stumble and fall over?
I would walk sideways, probably. I'd walk at a diagonal for the most part because I'd be trying to catch my balance.
Gotcha.
It's really bad, like for stairs now
Oh,
and stuff.
okay.
When I'm going up and down stairs, I can lose my balance really fast if I'm turning really fast.
Yeah. So
I
you're
lose
like
my
holding
balance.
onto the railing, not just because it's the thing to do.
Yeah,
but
just because I'll probably fall in one direction or the other.
we should set up like a camera and do some experiments.
Set up
and
an
just see
obstacle
what
course and
happens.
watch what happens. See, if you join our Patreon and you pledge at the highest amount, you can watch the live stream of me falling on down the stairs.
That's another thing we could do. I mean, really now.
Well, on that Saw-like note, let's move on to this anemic mega whale. Oh, she's so fat.
It's terrible, isn't it?
It is. Is it moral to spend money on luxury items when people around the world are suffering from poverty?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, it's that's not a question of morality. You can't help the conditions in another country. You have control over your life and what you choose to do. If Live Aid and We Are the World and all that different stuff taught us one thing, it's that, yeah, charities help, but they don't get at the root causes. They don't even get at the causal factors. Most charity is just putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg. You have to fix the root causes. You have to fix the causal factors if you're going to actually make a difference. So if you have the money to buy a luxury item because you've worked your tail off all year and you got your bonus, do it because you're living your life. If you can afford to donate to help someone, yeah, obviously do that. Give to causes that are close to your heart. We give to no-kill shelters whenever we can, because that's something close to our heart. But the whole kind of, and coming from me, I'm sure this is like astounding, but the whole bleeding heart, like, oh, I can't see how I can buy something like that because, there are people starving over there in this other country that I've never been to, I'll never go to. They're human beings. And from that perspective, I feel terribly for them that they're not able to eat, to do better. I wish I could do something, but honest to God, there's nothing I can do.
You could give to Sally Struthers.
Is she still alive or did she die?
I think she is, actually. I think she's still around.
Anyway, so that's my take. Probably far from where you probably thought it would be.
Yeah. Yeah. Scott's our resident bleeding heart.
Ah!
So, I agree with you entirely. I don't see, I'll be the one driving a Bugatti down Skid Row. It's like, what's up, pores? No, I'm just joking. Yeah, it's just, I can't. We've said this before in just recent past episode. I can't carry the weight of everyone's sorrow in this world.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that a lot of younger people, younger Gen X, younger boomers, younger all of them.
Younger boomers?
So, people when they were young, when they were young before they became the boomers. A lot of them were hippies, and a lot of them carried those kind of weights on their shoulder, like, oh, we have to clothe the poor and shoe the shoeless and shoe the horses.
And certainly, if you can help, do so.
Yeah, but you have to help locally. And
exactly.
Yeah, so
the small things that you do locally can spread.
It's like I don't crap on rich people for buying whatever they want to buy, or people in general for, oh, look, they bought that big boat they only use once a year. Yeah. Well, who cares?
That was their
not
choice.
Your money. What do you care?
Yeah.
I'm sure the people that made that boat were very happy they bought that boat.
Yeah.
Just let people be happy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Would I make the same choice? No, I don't want a boat. But, if you look behind me at like the musical instruments and stuff.
Yeah, he has
those are
embarrassment of guitars behind him.
It's not an embarrassment, but seriously, it's like the boat thing. People see the boat because it's out in your driveway. Mm-hmm. You don't see my instruments because they're in here in my studio, but it's the same kind of thing. I'm no better than those folks. Yeah. None of my basses help feed somebody half the world over.
Yeah, they probably helped feed the people who built the basses.
Yeah, exactly.
And the people who sold you the basses. So.
Yeah.
See, everybody helps everybody in one weird way or another.
In some way, I am curing world hunger by buying a bass.
Just keep buying more Funko Pops, baby.
Yes, Funko Pops, Star Wars figures, collectibles, CDs, albums, basses. Keeping the economic cycle going is what will eventually lift. I'm starting to sound like a Republican. It'll lift everybody up to an equal. Yeah, I don't really believe any of that.
All right. So I think this might be the last question. How are we doing on time?
Yeah, we got time.
We got time?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to give it another spin. I think I'm going to pass this back over to you next time. Because
this has been very freeing. I can just sit here and answer questions.
I know. It's great, isn't it? Good job. What are you interested in that most people haven't heard of?
What am I interested in? Playing bass. No, seriously. That most people haven't heard of.
Yeah, just one thing that you're currently interested in that most people are unaware even exists.
Polish prog rock.
All right. Tell me about Polish prog rock.
Basically the band Riverside. Hardly anybody here in the United States has heard of Riverside, but I think they are the best prog band in the world. Easily. They're just amazing.
All right.
And you mentioned them, they're like, Riverside, you mean like the high school in whatever TV show? No, I mean the Polish prog band.
All right. Yeah. Well, I will stick with that theme of music, and I will say very early 70s space synth.
Okay, yeah.
I love it. Some of you were not even born back then. Some of you were, but you just ignored it because it was not very popular.
The I'm trying to think of the dude's name.
Tomita,
yeah.
Yeah, Tomita is one of them.
Vangelis.
Yeah, Vangelis is a good one. Yeah, they're all good in one way or another. Synergy is another favorite band of mine. So yeah, I'm really into that spacey sound of that was the future I thought we would have. Was all these cool people playing synth instruments and dancing around in crazy glittery outfits.
And instead we got Kraftwerk and Devo.
Well, yeah. I mean, and they're fine too. They're very 80s in their own right. But
did I ever play for you any Vangelis? Before he was Vangelis, was in a prog band in Greece, and they put out 3 albums.
Which band is this? I'll tell you if I've heard them.
Aphrodite's Child.
I have an Aphrodite's Child album.
Okay,
I have no idea.
I've got all 3 of them.
Oh, there you go.
It's crazy stuff, man.
We are products of our weird world. So we're going to spin the wheel one more time. Come on, Meg. You can get it over. Get your leg over, baby.
Mega Wheel the Magnificent. Trying hard.
Yeah.
Rolling.
If you could know the truth behind any one mystery or secret, what would it be?
Oh. See, part of me wants to go for one of the big ones, like life after death, religion, that kind of stuff. The one I'm going to choose is to know for certain whether there was sentient life elsewhere in the universe.
Okay.
Because I think that, regardless of the answer, it would, for me, bring a sense of peace to know one way or the other, even if I'll never have a chance to meet the other species, such as it is. Or if the answer is no, like, okay, I've got that answer. It's cool. I'm good. I can die. Everything else is just knowledge, but this is the thing that, because there's an interconnectedness. And I think we tend to feel like our entire existence feels a little bit like a solipsism, because we don't know if there's anybody else outside of us. And the answer to that question would bring me peace. So that's what I would go with.
See, I would go with the big one of, is there life after death?
Okay.
Is there some sort of reward, some sort of heaven, some sort of hell, some sort of reincarnation?
Right.
Let me know what the deal is there, because I think if you made that public knowledge, it would alleviate a lot of the problems in this world.
It would tear a lot of shit down, too.
It would, yeah. But it would also...
Probably stuff that needs to be torn down.
Think about how many people fear death. They fear illness. They fear war. They fear suffering.
Yeah.
If you knew there was something outside of that greater than you, there wouldn't be that amount of fear. There'd almost be looking forward to it. I think a lot of people that are suffering from crippling depression or loneliness or grief or something would be able to have something to look forward to.
Right.
In that respect, if there was something. If there wasn't, that could really tear a lot of stuff down too.
Yeah.
Talk about how meaningless life would be if all your life you thought there was something, only to come to find out there's absolutely nothing.
But would that make it meaningless, though? I think that in a way it adds more meaning, because that means you've got the time you're here, and that's it.
Sure.
Do the best you can, have the most positive impact you can for the days, years, hours, minutes, seconds that you've got, because that's all you've got.
It's great for the people that have the ability to make a change in their world or something. But if
change
you
can be so small. But I can see where a lot of people would just go,
if you're under
wilt.
Crushing homelessness, if you're disabled, if you're you have some sort of mental illness, like profound mental illness, let's say, and you have nothing better to look forward to, like this is the lot you drew out of life. You drew a lot where you don't have legs, and you're going to spend the rest of your life not having legs. Like, this is it. Yeah. This is your big experience on this planet, is to be profoundly handicapped or have to be fed through a tube for the rest of your life or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that would be crushingly demoralizing to some people, especially if that was your child too. If you had a child who was profoundly handicapped and you're like, wow, we brought this child into this world and there's nothing to look for. Like, this is just this child's existence. It'd be terrible.
But even with that, and we've talked about this many times on the show, that sometimes the greatest thing that you can give is a smile. Sometimes the greatest thing you can do is just give somebody else a reason to smile, even if for a moment. Because it's not about the big things. It's not about how much you contributed. It's sometimes the smallest things are worth the most. And so for anybody out there, if you're questioning your existence, if you're questioning, what you've given back and all that, it's not a matter of quantity. It's really not. That's my take on the whole thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that wraps us up. That's been another episode of the Gen X Existentialists. My name is Bunny.
I'm Scott.
And we'll see you next time. Take care.